Welcome to this week's adventure. This episode of the Do It Now show. It is hump day, not so far as it's Wednesday, but we're talking camels. $20 to get off the camel. John, time for the story.
Time for the story. So, when I first moved here, I worked for an Israeli company for a while, and we went out on a work job to Israel, and we went to the Holy Land and cruised around Jerusalem. And this guy comes up and he says, "Hey, how would you like to ride on the camel?" And of course, no one in our group wanted to do it. Amazingly to me, the tour guide goes over and he says, "Yeah, I'll ride the camel." So he gets up on the camel and he's up there. He goes to the guy, he goes, "Okay, I've had enough of the camel. Let me off." And the guy goes, $20. Or of course, shekels. Because we're in Israel, 20 shekels, you can get off the camel. So they made him pay to get off the camel.
Now, that's a great example of how to better monetize your offer. And that's what we started with today.
What is that? They call the AT&T model. You know, you can have a phone, but if you cancel early, you get dinged.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's a big ding, too. Because you've got to, because you got to get that camel to kneel down again to get off.
That reminds me of an Iranian expression that there's a city, doesn't matter what city. So it's like the musicians from that area. They charge you $100 to play and $200 to stop playing.
Well, there you go. Or the newest thing in a lot of the garages around here. It's $50 an hour to work on your car in the shop. It's $80 an hour if you watch us. It's $100 an hour if you try to help.
Is that actually true?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They have it at
they don't want to educate you.
My car shop. They're actually to be honest, they're really good at, if you know what you're doing, they're really good at being educational with you. But they don't want just everybody wandering around the shop. They just
you're also going to get in the way. Yeah, you're getting in the way.
Yeah.
So I guess so I just thought that story that John had was great from the standpoint.
There's a lot of stories like that.
Oh, I know. It's like because it's all about the upsell. So they've already taken you up on the offer, regardless of what your offer is. Yeah. And the question is, do you make these one-time offers? Do you offer something like a negative in order to gain positive cash flow? I mean, there are a lot of interesting questions that arise from this.
Yeah, you can design your offer to make it as easy as possible to get into the deal.
Right.
But that's why people stay with their CRM that they don't like forever, because
it's too painful to leave.
I got one right now. It's too painful to leave because I've been using it for so long. It's like I finally bought something to change it out. Mm-hmm. But they make it terribly painful because you're used to it.
Hey, I've got this one.
Prices.
Yeah, and I've been trying to work my way out of it completely.
Me too. Oh, I did work my way out of it completely.
Well, here's the thing. There are some providers that they provide plans as far as called migration plans, right?
Yeah.
So when you want to transfer from CRM to CRM or other things, they sometimes free, sometimes for an extra charge, they help you migrate. So basically, it is painful for us, but if we outsource it, let somebody else go through it and we just go to the other level. Next
but
level.
I'm thinking of so the removal of pain in John's example is the guy is going to get off and escape by paying $20 or 20 shekels.
Money.
Exactly. Pay money.
And there is a lot of that. I mean, I've been in I got started with 2 programs this year that I figured, they're going to work out great for me. Mm-hmm. But to get out, they just keep dinging you with all these other little things to try to make you stay until I just said, I'm not going to get any further ahead by continuing this. And it's time to quit. So that goes against you.
Yeah.
I think that that's an approach that you really shouldn't take because in the end, it counts against you. It just makes people.
Yeah. I have one of the, famous internet marketers, actually 2 of them. But one of them on this thing, he's now on my, don't do business list with any offer that they have. I don't even read it. Delete.
He's not on your poop list?
Oh,
Right.
that's what I was going to say, but I didn't want to say
But you
it.
didn't want to say that. We're keeping
It's
it
on my
clean.
beep list.
The beep list. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's funny. I got thinking about this today. I said I could go through this with any number of businesses. You know my little quarrel with my insurance company right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I spent 8 hours on the phone with them today. Is that a good way to spend your time? Is that a good value for your customer?
Not at all.
Heck no.
Yeah.
So I mean, all these little things you really want to take into account when you're thinking about, man, what does my customer have to do to go through that? Would
Yeah.
I go through that?
Exactly.
Well, and then there's a difference between putting your customer through hoops and then let's say that you've sold them something, and then there's an opportunity since their credit card's already out and they've already got that little dopamine rush of having purchased something to upsell them. But you don't want to go to upsell hell where you've got 12 or I've had this before, 6 to 7 upsells before, and it's always sorry, I don't need this right now. I'm fully capable. And they write these crazy things at the bottom. I don't need any of your help. I'm going to struggle on my own. And then you hit that one to get out. Oh, it's all guilt. It's all guilt.
Yeah. So one thing that has come up with us is, especially the last couple of days for me, is I think of, okay, what are some of the worst hurdles that I've had to go through, and how can I make sure that never happens to my customer,
Right.
like ever,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
How can I walk them through this so that it's, like super easy, and in the end, I end up being the world's biggest hero.
Yeah.
So what are some of the obstacles you want to get people over with, make it easy for them?
Well,
Do you have an example?
I want to make it easy for them to get, like, if there's a complex problem of some kind, I want to make it easy for them to get support in it.
Well,
right?
say like you're doing a summit for them, for example, and they have no idea what buttons to push or what to do.
Something like that. And I'll give you again an example from the insurance company, which is, I think, a great one. I'm talking the other night to an advanced technical support person who I used to be one at one period of time, and I'm chatting with her, and I said, I've got this serious problem I've been dealing with for 6 months.
Yeah.
Who is the next level above? And don't be afraid to escalate things, right?
Yeah.
Who is the next level above who you're going to send me to? Oh, well, that would be like our resolution department. Great, send me to them. I started talking to a really nice person in the resolution department, told her my whole story. She's going, oh my God, I would never go through that. I can't believe you're this patient. I said, I'm really not patient. I'm furious inside. You just don't know it.
I'm merely fuming. There's lava pouring in my veins right now.
Exactly.
Conversation we had,
inside, but
yeah, this conversation we had a while ago in another group that so my friend Ari Mizell, so he had this idea about this because he has his own standard. He has many stories such as yourself or with his clients. So he started this TikTok kind of a hashtag channel, whatever it is, called Businesses Behaving Badly.
I might have to do that myself.
Yeah. Or you can, use the same thing and add your story to that. And you don't have to actually name the business. You just say like that. So because all of us learn what not to do.
But I want to name the business.
Okay, well, it's up to you. The main goal is about what not to do. It reminded me of two things. One is, it's because how we want to think about it, the cost of staying or moving away. I don't know which movie this was. It was one of those 90s mobster movies, Italian mob kind of a thing. So there was this younger guy who started to run after somebody else because he borrowed $20, but he's not paying. He's always saying, yeah, next week. And the mob boss goes, what's going on here? What are you, so agitated? Says, yeah, that guy, he borrowed $20. He's not giving me my money back. He's always avoiding me. He says, well, are you friends with him? He said, no, I don't even like the guy. They said, well, look at it this way. It cost you $20 to get rid of him forever. As long as he owes you money, he's not going to be around. So what? You wanted him to give you your money back, then come back, ask for another $50. Then you go through this over and over. It costs you $20 to get rid of him. So I thought that was good advice.
It's the cost of not doing business.
Yes. Right. I just pay my dowry and leave me alone.
How many goats?
At least 5.
At least 5 goats.
Yes.
So I got a question for you. What do you guys do when you're stuck with something? You can't move away from it. You have to use, like, it's the only game in town. You have to use it.
Like my car.
Well, no, maybe
Paid in full. I have to use it.
no, but I mean, there's always things like that.
Well, two things. One, I want to make sure that I am stuck. It's not just my perception.
Yeah, okay.
Are there alternatives?
Yes. Or, that's the second thing actually I was going to say. So there's this concept called the sunk cost, as in a cost of something. So for people who are watching our video, sunk cost is when, let's say, you bought a concert ticket. Like, let's say John and Chris and I, we want to go to a concert together. We all love Bruce Springsteen, and we buy our tickets, $100 and just before the concert, on our way, we get this notification text message saying that Bruce is sick, he cannot come, somebody else is covering it, and and we don't like the other guy.
Sacrilege.
Exactly.
So we have two decisions to make, or it seems that we have to do. One is, you know what? We already bought the tickets. It's $100. We don't want to lose our money. Let's go to this concert, even though it's not Bruce. Let's go anyway. Or you say, you know what? That $100, whether Bruce was performing or not, was gone anyway. It's a sunk cost. It's up to us to make a decision for our next 2 or 3 hours. Do we go to this concert of this person that we don't like, or we just say, you know what? Let's not go. Let's go. Do something else together. So that next 2 or 3 hours, that price that you paid for the ticket has nothing to do with you're gonna do later. We sometimes take the worst choice because we think we don't want to feel bad on the money that we paid, which is already gone. There is no way of getting your money back unless you ask for a refund. So if I'm dealing with the sunk cost, I may not be actually stuck. I'm just thinking that I'm stuck. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Yeah, but I'd really be hoping that they would reschedule the concert for another date, which often happens.
That sort of thing. So number one is that I make sure that I am stuck.
Yeah.
Number two, if I am stuck, and I can get out of it, I'll do things but to minimize the impact of it on my life. So what can I do to make this easier to tolerate, easier to navigate, do other things? So if I cannot remove something, I can remove or decrease the impact of it as much as I can.
Did this really happen?
There's Bruce.
No, Bruce did not get sick and cancel the concert.
It was like a vision that I had of the future that three of us are on our way to concert.
We're on our way. It's something from the hookah place.
I had to ask because
no, that's actually,
it might be different in different places, but I've never.
No, I just said that because I was listening to Seth Godin talking about this, and he used the example of Bruce Springsteen.
It was a for instance.
It was
it wasn't his dream. Like, it was a nightmare. He woke up this morning just like in a cold sweat. Bruce had canceled the concert.
Some pretty weird
things. But here's the thing. If you let's ignore for the moment that you have to pay the guy 20 shekels to get down off the camel. I mean, but you have an opportunity where you've captured a person's attention. Aren't you sort of obligated morally, if you recognize that just buying this course or ebook or something isn't really going to guarantee their success, but if you brought them into a group or an accountability session or a one-on-one session or something like that, or some other coaching, don't you have an obligation to at least offer them the opportunity to go deeper and to get better results?
I think people that, I think you do.
Well, what happened over there was, they gave him a mafia offer, that
he couldn't refuse. Unless he really likes being on top of the camel for a long time.
There is a third option that it's called the magician's choice. They ask you to do A or B, and you think you don't have any other choice, but you do. So it's like this. This happened about 15 years ago. This one is a real one.
Was Bruce sick? Bruce wasn't sick that time.
Okay. Go ahead.
A friend of mine, a young woman, think interested in relationships and that sort of thing. She said, "Hey, Kayvon, I read this thing about relationship in this book by Steve Harvey. I'd like to know what do you think about it." I said, "Okay, so what's the advice?" He said, he says, when you meet a guy and you think he might be the one, withhold on in intimate sexual relationship for 90 days. If he's still with you in 90 days, you go for that. So what do you think, Kayvon? I said, well, this is kind of a one-sided approach and doesn't involve the other person. Would you do that to somebody who wants to spend the rest of your life? But here's the thing. If somebody does that to me and we're in a relationship, nothing is going to happen for 90 days. And I like that person to stay with that. I still want to have my own say in the thing. When the 90 days is over, I myself will upgrade it to 120 days.
To 220, not to 180.
I really love you. I really want to get to know you first.
Let's escalate.
Let's escalate to wait. Is what it's going to be.
It's like the usual suspects. It's the Kaiser Sose approach.
Yeah. Who is Kaiser Sose?
Are you going to give us the thing or we're going to kill your family? And he brought a gun and he killed his family himself. So we do always have that third option that is hidden from us. So many times you can say, you know what? I'm not paying you to get off the camel. And guess what? By the end of it, I'm not coming off until you pay me $200 to get off.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm running away with this camel and selling it to somebody.
This camel is mine.
This is my camel. That's actually a great approach. It's now my camel.
I get the title in my pocket.
What is it? This is my camel.
All you have to do is wait. Not my circus, not my camels.
Not my camel.
Not my or elephant.
Oh my God, not my elephant. Yeah.
Because by the end of it, he wants to get somebody else on the camel, and but nope.
Yeah.
I'm not coming down. I'm afraid of the heights suddenly. Well, so unless you give me $20,
and if he does not come down off that camel, you're right. The guy who owns the camel is losing out on other camel riders.
Yeah, negotiation techniques.
Yeah, maybe.
In this case, he wasn't, but let's just say he was for fun.
Let's just say he was for the sake of argument.
You win some, you lose some. You win some, you lose some. But we're not always victim. We can, just by changing the arrangement of the pawns or just wait and all of that, we can turn the ship around.
I think we just did this to our tour guide because our tour guide was giving him a rough time about something else.
Oh.
But it was pretty funny.
That's great. 20 to get down.
I want to get off the camel in the end, getting down.
The camel's name wasn't Joe, was it?
No,
it wasn't Joe Camel. Good.
So here's another negotiation technique. So this was a movie when I was watching as a kid. So this guy, poor, like a Charlie Chaplin kind of a thing. He's doesn't have any money, and he sees this person selling, fruit and bananas on the side of the street. The story was in India. So he asks the lady, how much are the bananas? There are 3 bananas for 2 rupees. And she says, well, how about 2 rupees for how about 3 rupees for 2 bananas? She goes, no, go away. And he's walking away. He says, no, hold on a second. 3 bananas for 2 rupees. He wants to pay me 3 rupees for 2 bananas. Come back. Okay, I accept your deal. Give me 3 more money for less banana. He said,
I want to change the deal now.
Yeah, but he said, yeah, but I don't have any money.
Oh.
Okay, you're hungry, right? Yeah, here's a banana. Take it. Here's something. So he, by presenting the facts in another way and all of that, opened up another conversation to, I don't have any money. So the lady realized he's hungry. So how about, here's a banana for you. So
he was also rewarded for his ingenuity.
Yes. So
that's
another way to find upside to situations.
Hey, so with the camel, John, was there 1 hump or 2?
1.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you call a camel with 3 humps?
I have no idea.
Pregnant.
Oh my God.
That was.
They're waiting for the face pump. Boom. It's like
that was a joke in the cartoon. What is it called? Zootopia. That was the joke in there.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I can't even do the face bomb. I mean, that's just too much.
So here's my deal for you. I will charge $20 per live stream.
To stop telling jokes.
Yeah, $20. I won't charge you. I won't tell any more jokes.
I do have the power to
It might be
eject
worth
him,
it.
though. That's what's interesting. I can just go boom.
I didn't think about that, but it might be worth it.
I can save a lot of money just by pressing the eject button.
So there's another thought. So then you
man.
get creative. So how
Hey,
can
so in terms of like an upsell, which is it's interesting because the upsell was to get downsell. Now that you think about it, anyway. But when you have an offer to somebody, it's good to get downsell. The if you give somebody an offer, I mean, do you ignore most one-time offers or upsells, or do you participate in upsell hell?
It really designed.
No.
It depends on their design because some people they just want to sell more things,
Yeah.
and they forget the cardinal rule of the stuff that you're upselling and downselling should be aligned with the same
Mhm.
original problem. Either make that even much easier than before, or make it simpler and all of that. But many times they're not aligned. They're all over the place. I'm buying
Yeah.
this thing so those things I just ignore and buy.
You're
Yeah,
way
yeah,
all over the place, and that's
Yeah.
and part of the problem. So I think the thing that's been interesting about this story for today is that it kind of hit on 2 points. It hit on, okay, what are some of the upsells or things that we could look at as opportunities for people, but it also became kind of a customer support thing, and what could people look for that would make their life easier.
Yeah.
So we kind of ended up on 2 approaches with it.
Yeah, I'm very happy with my internet provider because here's the thing. Yeah, they're a small local company, like buy local kind of a thing, and they have very good fast internet. And all of these big corporations, they're always coming up with deals and that sort of thing. So when they have a deal that is going to save me money, and as soon as I call them, they say, without hassle or they quickly match that and they do it with a smile and all of that. So just the experience is making a big difference. There are some changes that they have done by themselves, even without me knowing or telling. So they just improved it and all of that. So just the other time when I was calling them for support, I realized I have been their client for 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Think about it. You stay with them if they do good work.
Yeah.
So this is funny. So it's funny you bring up internet provider. So I've got an interesting story about my internet provider. So everybody is upgrading their internet to one gig, and so I said, hey, I got 1 gig available now. I love it when the I don't know how your internet providers are in Canada, but here what happens is they come to you and they say, you're paying us too much. We could actually give you a faster plan for less than you're paying us now. And you go, well, why wouldn't you just tell me that anyways?
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two then goes, well, for $10 more, we can give you the fastest plan we have, which is the 1 gig plan, which I think is what you really would like. So I said, yeah, give me the 1 gig plan. So I also realized at the same time, I said, I have not called my internet provider about a problem since 2016.
There you go.
Now, since I've upgraded to 1 gig, I've called them probably 25 to 30 times in the last month.
Yeah, well, you had a technician tell you to downgrade to like 3 or 350.
Now you're spoiling my story.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't
What
realize.
happened? I got lost over there.
Well,
see, go back because Kayvon wasn't listening. This is good. So,
which part?
Explain it in a way only that a caveman can understand.
Kayvon can understand.
So anyways, I could get either way. I could get more. One way I could get more for less money. One way I could get more for slightly more money. And then the other thing is that before I had even thought about doing this, I haven't called my internet provider since 2016, which is a long time. So then the new one isn't working very well. It's got its ups and downs. So they said, we'll send an engineer out to your house. I said, okay, great. So they send an engineer out to my house. And usually when an engineer comes to your house, because I am an engineer, so I kind of can read I can read between the lines.
Yeah.
So this guy comes up and he was brutally honest with me. I could not believe how honest with me he was. I'm surprised he wasn't fired for being so
fired.
but he literally said to me, he goes, well, you're on the old FiOS FiOS backbone. So he said, this new internet for you is never going to work.
There you go.
Never going to work. I said, that is brutally honest. And I appreciate you saying that because I was shocked. I was like, I couldn't believe he actually said that. He said, I would call them back and I would downgrade to the faster but cheaper plan than what you have now.
Yeah.
Or get on their back and say that this is never going to work unless you guys want to come out and fix it, and then I'll keep the higher plan.
Did you go lower?
I didn't do anything yet.
Oh,
so it's still working. But also in the meantime, it prompted me, because for the RV I was looking at Starlink.
It always comes out Skynet with John.
Starlink. So Starlink, and that worked great on the RV. Like first time out of the box, I was like so surprised. I mean, now granted, I never in my wildest dreams thought Elon Musk would find a way to land a rocket back on the ground, like straight up and down.
Yeah.
And Starlink was yet another example of, wow. I mean, I'm like surprised it works so well. It's like this tiny little dish.
Yes.
What
was the weather like the first time you used it?
It's pouring like cats and dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like shocking. So where am I going with this?
I have no idea.
But it's funny. So I mean, a lot of people, overpromise and underdeliver, and a lot other way around.
I like the underpromise and overdeliver because that always makes you look like a hero.
I do too. That always makes you look good. And then some people are just brutally honest with you and say, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how you get that fixed, but I'll help.
Yeah. When you are on a call with a prospect and you think you might not be the right choice, I always appreciate, this is not going to work for you. This is not in your best interest. In fact, so might be a better choice.
Here's somebody who can help you. Yeah. Referrals are people underestimate the power of a referral, because if you refer them to somebody else, maybe it's a lower level program or something, they are inclined to come back to you again because you actually helped them by sending them away.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't hurt to have as a monetization policy a affiliate arrangement,
an affiliate offer for the one that you're sending them to. Yes,
and so that you can, again,
still benefit.
You'll still benefit. Yeah. The client benefits. Everybody still wins.
Well, think about all these challenges that are out there. Somebody pay, it's a free challenge, or you pay $7 for the challenge. And then if you want the recordings of the challenge, then you pay a 47 or a 97 upgrade, or maybe there's a VIP upgrade, but it relates directly to the program that you're paying for. Yeah. And I think that's a worthwhile type of offer. But if you're going through everything else, like, join our meme of the month club or something, or we're going to give you these little stock video things or other memes, and it just starts stacking so many different things that by the time you're done with the 7 or 8 different upsells, you have purchased everything for an entire agency. Yeah. And all you wanted was a small solution to your video problem.
Yeah.
Now, some of the recording stuff, as of late, I've been rethinking a little bit. I always thought it was, kind of a good idea. Yeah, it is a value add to get the recordings. Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of thinking, like, it's harder and harder for people to attend webinars or attend the events or whatever. I think that it's misguided to think that, I'm not giving people the recordings of this, that they aren't going to be resentful or angry. Because I would rather a couple lately. I'm more than resentful and angry because I couldn't make it, and that is not my way.
John, how much more resentful are you, John?
No, but it's got me thinking. What else could you do if you were to actually offer the recordings?
I'll do it $25 or something, or 27 or 30, or who knows?
Maybe make them less. Maybe make them. Maybe give them some other incentive to. Instead of the recordings, like maybe make the recordings part of the deal, but give them some other upsell. Is what I.
Well, such as like what would you have appreciated as an upsell if
maybe something that would help me to utilize what I went
like a
through
planner or
like a
a
planner,
cheat sheet or
like yeah, something like that that would maybe help me to put the program together or utilize the speaker's information.
Yeah.
I think
a
something like
As you
that.
can see, it's aligned with the
Yeah,
original problem, right?
I think these days
Original
of
place.
hey, let me hold the recordings over your head for ransom might be over
you
because
think really?
I'm starting to think so because the other side of it is how many people want to go to a webinar in general. I mean, I'm very guarded with my time. If somebody says, "Oh yeah, this is 1 hour webinar we want you to go to," and I know darn well it's probably going to turn into a 4 hour webinar,
Mm.
and I'm going to lose all that time. I hardly ever go to them. I listen to the replays in most cases now. I was a very webinar oriented person
Actually, I was a webinar junkie.
at one
The
point.
story of John Paduchak.
I wouldn't say I was a webinar junkie, but I was very, I used webinars a lot in practice and all of that. I think I think it's important to be more contrarian and be ahead of the game a little bit with some of the things that are out. I think a lot of it's gotten old. A lot of the marketing or a lot of the ideas behind it have gotten old.
They're
And then
stale.
just one thing, the
Last
recording
week I
thing.
got on a I got on a webinar which was pre-recorded, and it was about how to pain problem solve solution kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it was an hour and I think an hour and a half. The first 45-50 minutes was the guy's intro that I have done this and I've been very successful. I have done that and I'm very successful. Okay, and then the rest of it was about how our upgraded solution is better. So basically, the title that he mentioned he's going to talk about, he either didn't, or maybe it was the middle 3 minutes.
So it's like clickbait.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like what you got on the other side wasn't what you were promised.
yeah, I'm so glad that I was able to like fast forward and like the guy started to talk about himself for 2-3 minutes and said, okay, how long this is going to go? And I
Wow.
kept going forward. He was still, the thing,
talking about
and he was how, oh, yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
but
bye.
how many Lambos did he have though? Like 1, 2, 3.
I don't know.
He probably doesn't know how to drive the one he's got. But let me ask you a question. So aside from me and recordings and that,
Mhm.
what are some things that you see that are monetization techniques that may have now gotten past their time, and how would you change them? Because I mean, I think the recordings one to me is
Transcription.
The what? Transcription?
Transcription, yeah.
I think a transcription is worthwhile,
I
personally.
do too.
I like timestamps on videos with a transcript because I can
Yeah.
go straight to the transcript and see.
Well, that's different. But just a full transcription of something that was 4 hours, I don't want that.
Really?
Actually,
I want
there's
to summarize- I
something
want to
Rich
summarize version.
Rich Sheffrin did
Transcript.
one when he did like 5-hour segments or so and did like 36 hours, or he was awake for like 24 hours or more, 26 hours. I wouldn't have minded transcripts of some of those because there were some amazing guests that were on his mega, 24-hour plus live stream.
So now I'm curious.
Instead
So
of
why?
full transcription, I prefer a summarized, like 3 lessons learned from so and so.
Oh, okay. How about that?
So I like notes. I don't want transcriptions.
Okay.
There's two things that I like about that idea. Number one, if I were redoing the idea of transcriptions, I do like transcriptions to a certain extent because I speed read, so I can go through and I can actually go through something faster than I can on video. But you know what would go really nice with a transcription for most products?
A cold beer.
Well, that too.
Okay.
But an action plan. So
Yeah.
I've got not just the transcription, which has all the details of the thing, but great. I've gone through and I've done all of this information. What do I do with it?
Yeah.
So one thing that kind of caught my attention recently, I took a course on video, and the first thing the guy did is he took 13 weeks of his course and put it in a quick step course, so that literally you could get the most of the benefit by going through this shortened course. So you actually, it kind of was like the 30,000 foot overview, but you actually got a great result by going through the 30,000 foot overview. And I said, wow, that's a unique idea. I haven't seen too many people do anything like that. And you could apply that to a lot of things.
I said, let's repeat that for our customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that's a unique idea. I thought it was really good. And, I was able to take a course that normally, I don't know, probably would take me 3 weeks to go through the whole course. But actually apply the short segment of it that he had set up as an initial challenge at one point. Which,
yeah, I enjoy the same thing that books that they have a chapter summary and also chapter action items. So when you come back to it a year from now, you could just go through the summaries and action items. And you don't need to reread the whole book.
And that's things like Blinkist and the book services like that very popular right now.
Headway and all the other ones. Yes.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of time for that stuff. Give me a short.
Well, I enjoy people who make video summaries on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's more entertaining for me to go through a book summary when somebody has, giving you a report or a review.
It's like the audiobook, sort of, but shortened.
Yeah. And also it's somebody's opinion. I like that as opposed to, because if something is, not only you understand what the ideas is, but also you realize, do I want to invest the time and energy to read the whole thing or not?
Mm-hmm.
And if I know that, if it hasn't been helpful to somebody else, that's already a win.
Yeah, I don't know if they have as many. At one point, people used to do summaries. I mean, they certainly do summaries of books, but they used to even do summaries of courses. So if you didn't have time to complete a complete course, you could go and you could get their summary of it, which I thought was kind of brilliant. Or the notes from some of these, like
Schwartz's book,
Digital Marketer, or some of those things.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Okay, I think we're at over our time.
We are over our time. We're in overtime now.
Oh, we over-delivered.
What's that?
Who's winning in overtime?
It's tied. That's why we're in overtime. That's why we're tied. So, any other final comments about, well, John, at this point, how much are you willing to pay to get down off that camel?
I'm not on a camel.
If they stuck you on there,
they wouldn't have gotten me on.
Had they gotten you on there, like kind of like had Bruce gotten sick.
Yeah, I don't think so. Nobody's gonna get me on a camel, make me rappel a building.
You don't want to rappel with a camel down a building.
I could rappel with a camel on my back. It's just not going to happen.
Get off my back. Get off my back. Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
Get off my camel. Okay. Well, Dr. K, anything to add in terms of OTO?
I love to think John had a very good question. When you're stuck, what do you do? Right. So I would love to hear what other people think. So the ones who are watching this video and all of that, I would love to hear from our viewers. What do you do when you're stuck?
When you're stuck
with a deal like that, like you cannot get out of it.
Okay, with a deal. Okay,
like stuff that you can't fix or change, or
things that you can't fix or change as far as an offer.
I've gone as far as calling the president of the company.
Ooh, what did you call him?
I didn't call him anything bad, but
okay, good.
We went through the deal.
Good. All right. Hey, so
there's options. You always have options.
Hey, so speaking of options, many of you we know have the option of watching in replay. And so please use the hashtag replay so that we are pinged. And if you have any questions, any comments, or any suggestions for future topics, we are all ears, earballs and eyeballs, and we will respond accordingly. I think that's it.
That is it.
We're out of here. So tune in next same bad time, same bad channel, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on a Friday. And keep going. Do it now, because if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it?
And we'll have to start the joke jar.
Now or never.
It's now or never. Bye.